What is up? What is up? Hopefully, you are enjoying two Monday night football games and trying to get over this 49er loss in the same way that I am. But we are blessed. We have another day, and that's all that matters. Man, what a great trip I had. First of all, I want to talk about that. An amazing, amazing time in LA. I know that the result wasn't what we wanted, but as far as my trip, I got to meet Sunil for the first time, went to a Lil Wayne concert, and then watched the 49ers game. SoFi is a beautiful, beautiful stadium. And if you remind me, I will I'll tell you a little story throughout the stream. You guys got to remind me that I have a nugget from that trip. I also met Brother Bob in person, so that was kind of cool. But I had an amazing trip. 49er fans were great. Rams fans were great. And overall, it was awesome, except for obviously the 49ers losing. And especially because it was a game that the 49ers really should have had. I mean, there's no reason that they should have lost that game. It was super frustrating to be there in person and have the Rams fans talk trash to you. I'm not used to going to games and losing. This was the first loss I had seen in person in the Shanahan era. It was not great. It was not great. I feel like maybe I jinxed us. So that being said, we're going to talk a little bit about the Javon Hargrave injury and then anything else that's on our mind. And we are going to do a film review as well. So here's what I want you to do. Why don't you go ahead and vote? Do you want to do offense or defense? Just put it in the chat. Do you want to review the offense, or do you want to review the defense tonight? You guys let me know in the chat. I'm going to hit this intro and we'll be right back. All right. Welcome back to Last Second Sports, where we are giving you our take down to the last second. And it looks like you guys want to review the defense tonight, which is good. That's what I want to review. So I'm so happy you guys said defense. Ryan wants to review the special teams. I do have special teams film. If you want to really go over special teams, we can do that. But gosh, that was a disaster too. But yes, I've got it all. So we'll do the defense tonight. It sounds like you guys want to do the defense. Niner Gang wants us to review the coaching. I don't have film. Wouldn't that be great if we just had sideline film of just the coaches all game long? Every expression, every frustration, just everything that they do. That would be fantastic. But yeah, so before we get into it, Javon Hargrave done for the season. And this one was interesting. You know, there was a viral video of Javon Hargrave floating around yesterday on Twitter. I'm sure it was in other places as well. But it was the second to last drive. It was on the Matthew Stafford throw to Tutu Atwell. It's like a 40-something yard pass or whatever. And on that play, Javon Hargrave rushes upfield. He puts both hands on the offensive lineman. And then he keeps his left hand on the offensive lineman and drops his right hand. And he basically just stands without pass rushing. And everybody was crushing him for it. And when I first saw it too, I was like, dude, really, this is the effort you're going to give? That is crazy. But when I rewatched the video a couple times, I noticed that he dropped his right hand and started shaking it. And that's like a classic sign of tricep, bicep, pec injury, something like that. And so you put that together with what Kyle Shanahan had said. It was like, hey, you know, he has a tricep injury. It's a contusion. Well, a contusion, I mean, he would likely be playing this week. But the way he reacted, I thought it was pretty clear that he tore something. And if it was a tricep injury, then it was obvious to say, hey, he tore his tricep. Took forever for that news to come out today. In fact, I even texted Marco and was like, hey, did he tear his tricep? Can you find that out? He was unable to find it out, but news eventually did come out. He did tear his tricep. And that's his season, most likely. His season is over. So what do we think of the Hargrave era? Because in my opinion, I think Hargrave is most likely done after this year. He's not going to be a 49er. He makes way too much money. It's a major cap casualty. He did have a sack yesterday and played pretty well, albeit the one thing that he did well yesterday, or playing well yesterday, he was going against the third string left guard. I mean, really, he should have dominated. Now, that being said, Javon Hargrave clearly hasn't been worth the money. I would say that we pretty much all agree there. But that doesn't make Javon Hargrave not capable of being a starter on this team. I don't know that. In fact, I'll just say there is no interior defensive lineman better than him on this roster. I know he wasn't great. I know he didn't live up to expectation, but he's still, at least as a pass rusher, the best interior defensive lineman that the 49ers have. So where do they go from here? I mean, they're already struggling to generate a pass rush. I put out a stat earlier today saying that the 49ers had generated pressure on just, I think it was 21% of their snaps. The Seattle Seahawks have generated pressure on 30% of the snaps. And they're doing it without their best pass rusher. Their best pass rusher hasn't even taken a snap this year. Not one. So for them to be able to do that, that to me is scheme. Now, listen, I think Seattle has really good players on defense. I've been saying it for 2 years. I know I got cooked last year when I said it because it didn't show up. But to me, it was clear that they had a coaching problem. So you insert a really good defensive coach this year in McDonald, and sure enough, they literally go from the bottom of the league to the top overnight. The players are mostly the same, at least the top players on that team, and they've been without their top pass rusher. But they don't have a more talented defense through and through than the 49ers do. But the 49ers, to me, their scheme is atrocious. All game long, I can't wait to talk to Sunil tomorrow because he'll vouch for all of this. I was telling him, like, how many times are we going to see a 4-man pass rush with zone behind it? They hardly run man. They don't even show blitz. It's so vanilla. It's just 4-man down, a basic defense, not a lot of moving around. It's just so played out. It doesn't matter how talented the players are. You can screw it up as a coach and a coaching staff. And I think Seattle's a great example of that. Like when I put that post out, it's not to say, oh, Seattle's better than the 49ers. It's to say, when you have good players, coaching can either elevate those players or it can hold those players down. Now, it's easy to say, hey, Sorensen sucks. Okay, maybe that's possible. So Wilkes sucked, Sorensen sucks. But ultimately, this is the scheme that Kyle wants to run. This is the scheme that he asked Wilkes, who didn't run this scheme, to come into this team and run this specific scheme. And when you hear Kyle talk about it, he talks about how this scheme gives his offense troubles. Well, my thought was, all right, after last year, you watched the schemes of Flores and Spagnuolo and other guys across the league, Schwartz, that gave you trouble. Their defense gave you a lot of problems. So maybe you're bringing in Staley to kind of mix that in a little bit. And you're going to start doing some of the things that give you troubles today, because that scheme you're talking about that gives you problems, it gave you problems 4, 5, 6 years ago. It doesn't give you problems today. You played Seattle how many times did you play Seattle over the last couple of years and torch them? That defense could not slow your offense down. That defense couldn't slow your offense down. But you know whose defense could? McDonald's could. And now he's over in Seattle. So when you bring in Staley, we're thinking, all right, we're going to get a little bit of a hybrid. I know that we're not going to completely abandon what you've done defensively. The guts of it are still cover 3, cover 4, mix in cover 6. But you're at least going to simulate pressures. You're going to send pressures. They blitz the least amount in the NFL by a wide margin. A wide margin. 49ers blitz on 6.5% of their snaps. For context, the second lowest team in the league in blitzing is the Rams, and they're at 9.5%. So a full 3% below. Washington blitzes more than anybody, and they're at like 34%. So from them to the top team is drastic difference. And you have the Seahawks, who their defensive line isn't near as talented as yours, without their best pass rusher, generating 9% more pressure. That's coaching. That's schematics. This scheme is played out. It's played out. And what sucks even more is the 49ers probably could have had Flores last year before he went to the Vikings. Imagine going to Flores, who had just gotten fired by the Dolphins, had a bunch of bad things come out about him, and you say, hey, you can come to a defense that's already elite players all over the place, and you can come run your scheme here. Wouldn't that have been awesome? Could you imagine Flores with these players, what he would do? It would be insane. Absolutely insane. And they had an opportunity to get Flores. And they chose to go with Wilkes and then force Wilkes to run their scheme. So to me, it's scheme, man. It's scheme. Yeah, Orange Chicken, listen. Joe Burrow's on TV today, as is Josh Allen. Can anybody with a straight face really try to sit up here and say that Josh Allen isn't the clear best or second best quarterback in the NFL? You know, he's played 10 quarters and has 9 touchdowns this year with zero premium talent. Zero premium talent. He's got some good players. Don't get me wrong. Some of those players are good. But without Josh Allen, I mean, there is nothing special on that roster as far as offensive weapons go. Josh Allen is doing some incredible things right now. So, and I had a lot of people tell me, oh, he's overrated. He's overrated. Josh Allen's overrated. Okay, all right, yeah, sure he is. Brother Bob says, Nails puts in the hard work at and for the games. He's still a punk. Appreciate you, Brother Bob. I did get to meet Brother Bob. He bought me a drink begrudgingly. I'm not a big drinker, but he wouldn't let me say no. So I appreciate you, Brother Bob, man. That was really nice of you. It was great to meet you in person and put a face with everything. Obviously, I knew what you looked like, but just seeing you in person was really cool. So thank you so much for the drink. Thank you so much for taking the time out and meeting me in person. That was really cool. And overall, 49er fans, Rams fans were fantastic. There's a lot of Rams fans that recognize me because of the NFC West roundtable that I do every Tuesday. They were fantastic. I mean, nobody was disrespectful. Nothing but love from people. It was a really good experience. A really good experience. So SoFi was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I know, crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. All right, let's get into this film. I think that we talked about what needs to be talked about. We all agree that the defense is a problem right now. It's not going to be easier without Hargrave. I'll say that. So, you know, we do have that happening right now. And the 49ers are just going to have to figure it out. You know, the offense was really good yesterday. But I do want to say, let's pump the brakes a little bit on what the offense looked like, because that was literally the worst defense in the NFL that they played. The worst defense in the NFL. So they did what they needed to as far as moving the ball, scoring points, what have you. It would have been nice to get to 30 against that team, but nonetheless, I think the offense was not the problem for sure. But it was the worst. I mean, the Cardinals the week before, for context, put up 41 on that defense. So just leave that there. That's true. But ultimately, this was a defensive issue. A defensive issue. Okay. So we're going to watch the defense. Here we go. Switch this up. Get the camera over here. There we go. Go full screen. And one of the few times, by the way, all game that you're going to see something different than a 4-man front with a basic defense behind it. And can we also say that Isaac Yadam is awful? Awful. Awful, 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 awful. Absolutely awful. And a lot of people hyped up Isaac Yadam when he came here. Was like, oh, did you see the season he had with the Saints? They got their outside corner. We're good. And I was like, hold on. I mean, we are talking about somebody who's been in the league for like 6 years and had one breakout season. Maybe, just maybe, he's not that good. Sure enough, at least so far, early returns, not that good. Not that good. And even I'll say this. I saw him in training camp and he looked good. And I started to say, I might have been wrong on Yadam because I was so tough against. In fact, I was so tough against Yadam that when they signed Rock Ya-Sin, who also not the best player in the world, when they signed Rock Ya-Sin, I said, I'd rather play Rock Ya-Sin. I like that signing more than I did Yadam. But then when I saw Yadam in person and then watched him in preseason a little bit, said, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everybody else was right. All the people that were hyping up Isaac Yadam, maybe they were right. They weren't right. I wish they were. And I think that the 49ers right now need to start a youth movement. But I could talk forever, so let's just watch. Here's the other thing I'll say. The stats from this game, the run defensive stats, don't look that bad on paper. Can anybody honestly say that the run defense looked good yesterday? The eye test, not what the numbers say, because the numbers actually say that they did well against the run, but the eye test. And this is why stats are so, they're a data point, but they're not it. Because you put eyes on that game, that run defense was not good. Not good. I mean, it seemed like Kyron Williams was able to go forward whenever he wanted. Yeah, absolutely. I said it last year, man. I said it last year. It felt like last year was the last best year. And in March, and I only said it once. I said it on one show and people didn't like it, and so I just kind of laid off it a little bit. But to me, I said I'd rather be a year early and tear this team down and quickly get things built back up versus holding on for a year too long, because you hold on a year too long, that can set your franchise back 2-3 years, especially when you're signing guys to these longer contracts that are older, big time money. Hargrave did a good job there against the backup left guard. He was able to generate pressure. That's what's crazy is I felt like the defense for about a quarter and a half did really, really good. I mean, they were getting tons of stops, and then it just all fell apart. All of it fell apart. I mean, let's just look at it schematically. Let's just look at this. If you're going to run the ball against this front, I mean, your defense is already at a major disadvantage. Look at the gaps in here, man. Look at this. And your linebackers are 5 yards off the ball. You got 2 safeties. Like, this is an easy, you run the ball against this. Easy. And that's what they do. It's just so easy. So easy. Brother Bob says, bro, you have a ton of legit equipment. Wow. Yeah, man, I try. I got to. Jesse Wade says, in my humble opinion, watching this D, it's an effort thing. It's like they just expect to win with all the firepower. That's 100% on Kyle. The Rams D played hard. They did play hard, and they're not very good, but there wasn't an effort issue. Dave Barclay says, our guys aren't attacking. Looking tough. No finish. Yeah, I mean, we can watch effort. Here's the other thing. Here's another interesting thing. You know, the 49ers lead the league in missed tackles, like in a good way, like the least amount of missed tackles in the league. So you like think that through for a second. You have the lowest blitz rate in the league. You have the least amount of missed tackles in the league. You would think that means that yak and running the ball, you'd be good against those, right? Because you're not missing the tackles. And you got plenty of people back there in coverage, especially for yak. But you give up a ton of yak and people are running the ball at will. Those things just don't add up. Like, I could understand if they just have a bunch of missed tackles. I mean, gosh. I mean, this was them showing blitz. Does anybody actually believe that Hufanga was going in on that? Nobody believed it. Come on, man. You're not selling anybody on the fact that Hufanga was even going to blitz there. It's so basic. So basic. And the 49ers have great players. I mean, that's why they win a lot of the time still, even though the scheme is garbage. But geez, man. There's just nothing special about it. Let's watch the back end too. Let's see how many times they roll coverage post snap. I'm curious. How many times do they roll coverage post snap? Oh, look, another 4-man front. You'd think that they were like Grant, Coach, Ryan, and myself with that 4-man front, huh? That's why we named the show 4-man front, because that's what the 49ers do every time. Nothing special. And we figured, you know what? Our show also, nothing special. Let's just name it 4-man front. It was nice to see Hufanga back, though. I'll say that as well. It was very nice to see Hufanga back. Yeah, Kyron's like, where's the penalty, man? Where's the penalty? Have you seen them roll their coverage one time? And let me make sure I'm clear so that you guys all understand what I'm talking about when I say roll the coverage. When they're showing one high post snap or like pre snap, if they're showing one high post snap, do they go to 2 high? Or if they're showing 2 high pre snap, post snap, do they go to 1 high? Have we seen that one time? This is where I blamed Seattle's coaches last year, big time. I could not stop blaming their coaches. I'm like, your defense is so vanilla. Whatever you show pre-snap, you're getting post-snap. It's a guarantee. It's just what they do. Brother Bob says, driving, but our defense is too slow for this scheme. Yeah, they don't have a bunch of missed tackles. Brother Dave says, Brother Bob, love you, bud. and all others in the chat. We love you, Dave. He says, how long have I been saying trade Kyle? Honestly, forever. Brother Bob says, your guy's 4-man front is way better than Kyle's. Oh, look. 2 high safeties, and they stayed there that way. Great play by Hargrave here. But again, he's going up against a 3rd-string left guard. I mean, he should have been in the backfield 95% of the time. 95% of the time. Good point. That's a good point. Was that single high? I didn't think I was single high post snap. So they got 2 high here. And they stay 2 high, did they not? Am I tripping? Yeah. They show 2 high and they stay 2 high. It didn't change. They stayed 2. They stayed 2. The Cardinals are doing way more with less. I agree. I agree. I mean, he just that left guard gave up 0 resistance. Nor should he. Nor should he. 4-man front showing 1 high. Well, they're going to 2 high. Pre-snap, though. Still pre-snap. And they stay 2 high. Although it's not a passing play, so you can't really roll coverage when it's not a passing play. Dude, I'll say this. That Kyron Williams flip into the end zone, that was pretty filthy. You got to give him credit. That was pretty filthy. I mean, how good did we feel at this stage of the game? How good did we feel? Okay. Oh my gosh, dude. I think this was a 3rd down and long, so it didn't matter. But yeah, it was. It was a 3rd down and long. All right. I'm not going to get upset about it. I was about to be like, why are the linebackers 7 yards off the line of scrimmage? What are we doing? That was 3rd down, though. That was 3rd down and super long. So I get it. No problem with that. Yeah, let's just go forward here. I mean, how many plays in are we? And we've seen 1 5-man front and 1 simulated pressure. And the simulated pressure was Hufanga hopping towards the line of scrimmage and then backing way off and showing he's not blitzing. It's crazy. So crazy. Are you talking about the Cardinals sweatpants? You're talking about the Cardinals. They and they're missing their rookie pass rusher that they drafted in the 1st round. He hasn't even played yet this season. Pockets. It's a torn tricep, partially torn tricep. But yeah, he's set to miss the rest of the season, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Okay, let's see. Passing play. Let's see if they roll their coverage. See if they do it. No, they don't. Sure don't. I don't know. It's all good, Pockets. I was just letting you know. You had it right, though. Either way, he's done for the season. I guess the injury is semantics. Yes, Yatir was standing up. That's that. If you want to know what Staley's brought to this defense, it's that his edges will stand up sometimes. It's pretty awesome. I mean, what a wrinkle. Let me tell you, what a wrinkle. Oh my gosh, the 49ers just blitzed. They just blitzed, but they didn't disguise their coverage. And Isaac Yadam got cooked, but they did blitz. And it was obvious that they were blitzing, by the way. So there is that. It's like, come on. What are we doing? You knew they were blitzing. If Fred would have dropped back, that would have actually been a nice little wrinkle, because he would have dropped back right over the middle and helped Yadam out. Here we go. Oh my gosh, the Staley defense. Look at, did you see Bosa? Did you see that? Did he just like step forward like he was going to do something? Staley, dude. Genius. These guys are standing up now. Like, that's just next level. Rams didn't know what was about to hit them, let me tell you. Oh, he's showing blitz. He's showing blitz way before they snap the ball, man. Those are the things you're supposed to do post-snap to try to confuse everybody. Gosh, you know what? We should download, I don't know. Should we go watch Seattle's defense? I know this is a 49er channel, but you've seen what happens here, right? Like, we know what this looks like. Jolts, I'll tell you what I tell you every time you come in here and say this. You tell me what we should be positive about. You give me the positive topic and we'll talk about it. Okay? You tell me. Guys, let's be really positive. The 49ers are 1-2 in their last place in the NFC West. They're showing no signs of a good defense. They have injuries everywhere. And let's just powwow it out, you know? Let's just be super positive. We're so lucky to just watch this team in red and gold. Like, we're just so blessed. Let's talk about all the good things. Like, what? What are we talking about? What should we be talking about? I really like the gold combination of the pants and with the red. We do actually have some of the better uniforms in football. That's actually not a lie. That's something you can be positive about. We got great uniforms. All right, so 4-man front, you got 2 up high. Nothing rolled post snap. This is the problem. What you see is what you get from this defense. And so you're literally relying on these players to just make plays and be great. And that worked when they were great. But right now, they're not. They're not great enough to overcome this scheme. Like, help them out a little bit. It doesn't matter who you are and how good you are. You need some help. This league is way too talented. Way too talented to just think that you're going to roll up, not disguise anything, and just dominate week in and week out. And the worst thing is, this is a defense that's missing one starter, or was this game. You're going up against an offense that's missing 1, 2, 3, for 5 starters and a backup. 5 starters and a backup. It's just, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. Super frustrating. Dave Barclay says, we suck. It's all over. Let's give up. No, I'm not going that far. A fire sale, get rid of everyone, but 15, 85, 24, and 4. What about 13? He's not going to keep 13. All right, let's see. Let's see if anything special happened on this one. I mean, 4-man front, nothing special on the back end. Somebody said something up here, and I wanted to grab it. Bosa does have an oblique injury, but I mean, this is just 2 years in a row we're going on. I don't know. That's a lot. It's a lot. Gosh, somebody had a really good comment and I missed it. I missed it. Dang it. I can't find it. I thought it was a super chat, and that's why I didn't pull it up immediately. All right, hold on. Let's go back here. Okay, so here's the other thing. They are rolling the coverage. They're showing one and rolling it, but look at how early they're bailing. It's like the Rams know that the 49ers are going to show them whatever they want pre-snap if they just go in motion. Because if you notice every time they go in motion, if the safety's going to come down and play the run game, he'll come down immediately. If the safety is going to roll back and show a too high look, you want to do that post snap to confuse things. But every time they go in motion, you get to see everything pre snap. Stafford knows exactly what's coming here. He's not fooled by this. As soon as the motion comes, Jair drops way back. Watch it. Look at it. Stafford sees all that pre snap. There's nothing, no glitz, no glamour to any of this. Even when you roll coverages, you're doing it pre-snap. I mean, that defeats the purpose of rolling the coverage. And he's just surgical. I mean, I get it. Stafford's a really good quarterback, but that means you can't make it easy on him. You can't make it easy on him. And by the way, the Rams have the same issue. If you look at what the Rams were doing, they're doing the same thing on defense. It's so vanilla. And Brock Purdy was just having a field day, just like Kyler was having a field day last week. You make it easy on these quarterbacks, these professional quarterbacks, man. If they know what's coming before the snap, they're gonna pick you apart. You got to try to confuse them and mix things up and hope that they just mess it all up. But man, there's if you're not doing that, you're just gonna get shredded, absolutely shredded. Because every player in the NFL is really good. Even the backups and the ones that suck, right? They're all really good players. They're here for a reason. Again, don't roll the coverage. Don't get pressure. Don't blitz. At least that time. You did mix in a little bit of a stunt, it looks like. Yeah, I don't know that it was a designed stunt. It looks like Givens just kind of gets pushed out of the way, and then Bosa's in the gap that he's trying to rush. He falls down, so instead of rushing where he goes there, he goes around him. So I don't even think it was a designed stunt, to be honest with you. Let's see it from this angle. In fact, I'm positive it wasn't a design stunt. Bosa just falls down and then he got pushed out of the way. So no, it wasn't a design stunt. I don't know. All right, 4-man front. You're showing too high. Now you're rolling down, and there you go. Run game. Dave Barclay says number 13, Mordecai, start over, recover, and fun picks. Nah. Dave Barclay says, and I'm only half kidding, trade Kyle. All right, fair. Fair. Oh, you talking about Jimmy? I heard about that. I was obviously at the game, so I didn't see the telecast, but I'm sure he is. I'm sure he was laughing. Sure, it felt great. We're 0-2 against Darnold and Jimmy, even though Jimmy didn't play. We're 0-2. Sucks. Okay, look at this. We're actually showing a 5-man front here. A little something different. I'll take it. Take it. Limmer got tagged on that play. What's going on in the NFL? What's the score? NFL scores. 37-10, so nothing's changed there. And the Commanders are still beating the Bengals. Wow. Wowie zowie. It's nice when the game was over in the first half for the Bills. You didn't even have to try in the second half. Okay, what do we got? 4-man front. Fred Warner was shot out of a rocket on that play, though, wasn't he? Look at him. Look at Fred. Campbell's just so slow-footed. So slow-footed. Infuse some youth, man. Get Green out there. Get Winters. Get Robinson. Make it a youth movement. All right, 4-man, 2 up top. They stay 2 up top. That was a sick play. That was sick. Winters got hurt again. He came back and then he got hurt. Jam. Look at that. Oh my God. That was pretty dope. So where I was sitting for context is not the side that he flips on, but the opposite side at that 20-yard line. So, and I was up at, they have 5 levels there. We were at the 300 level, like row 4. So we were able to see like the breakdown of everything. Like that play at the end of the game where I thought Purdy had Ayuk open. I tweeted it out right away. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that he had Ayuk. Well, I knew Ayuk was open. I just didn't know if he looked at it, if he had looked at Ayuk, but I was pretty sure he had. I mean, it was literally all 22 view where I was at. It was phenomenal. You could see every play break, like how it broke down, everything. I think in most stadiums, like if you can sit 200 level, 50-yard line, front row, That's the best. That's the best. I didn't even check that out there. Was that a four-man rush? That's just your guys winning. But again, schematically, like they did nothing to help him out there. Oh, this was after the fumble, huh? That was the other thing. They were about to score at the end of the first half, and then they fumbled. You got McKivitz getting blown up, and then Purdy fumbles, and all of a sudden your chance of at least trying to get points are gone. Oh, he had him right there, too. He had him. You were led to believe they were elite. I don't know. Did anybody really lead you to believe that? I feel like we definitely like some of them for sure, and would rather see him more than Campbell. But I don't know about elite. All right, this is the end of the half, so there's actually not really a lot to watch here. That's pretty much it. Okay, come on here. Where are we at? Hold on. Am I tripping? Are we in the second half? Oh shoot. What am I thinking? I went way forward. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. My bad. Here we go. My fault. My fault. All right, four-man front again. You got oh look at it. They rolled coverage. You got Malik Mustafa playing, coming in, spelling Hufanga from time to time. He came in a few plays and spelled Hufanga. But look at they actually roll coverage here. Look at Malik. So we've seen one rolled coverage in half plus a couple plays. I mean, again, really good players, so they make good plays. It's what good players do, you know? But schematically, there's just no help. No help. John says Coach Mike McDonald won't have his Ravens defense fully installed until late October. Interesting. Is your last name really Naylor? That was my late dad's name, except for he spelled it John. But you're right about that. Coach McDonald won't have his defense fully installed. I mean, he's trying to work through it. But it takes a long time to learn it. And for them to be this good already defensively, like that big of a leap, it just goes to show you that schematics are huge in this league. Absolutely huge. Oh, really? Nice. So you have a cousin named Jesse, but he spells it E. Yeah, and I spell it IE. That's kind of crazy. That's actually really crazy. I don't know a lot of nailers that spell it Naylor either. Where are you from? If you don't mind me asking, you don't have to say. Like, I don't want you to put your business out there if you don't want, but curious to know where you're from. And by the way, I mean, every time, you know what this is? Actually, I have a couple things. You're from the West Coast, same here. So I was born and raised in Portland, Oregon. Okay. You guys ever play pickup basketball? I'm sure a lot of you do, right? You go to your local gym, you play pickup basketball. And almost every time, there's like somebody who's undersized on the court. And if you've got a big body on your team, It's like immediately, big body goes into the post, and you literally call out, mouse in the house, mouse in the house. And that just means that you're going to go to work on this small dude every single time. Pause. But you're going to post him up every single time without fail. You're going to put a big body on the small body, and you're going to post up every play down, and you're calling mouse in the house. Isaac Yadam is mouse in the house. He's mouse in the house. And when they saw him press like this, immediately they're going to it. Now, there's a couple plays in this 49er game on offense, and I don't remember exactly when it was. But again, I was, Sunil and I are talking all game, and I'm telling him they have Ayuk, similar looks just like this, with Ayuk on the outside and a corner pressing on him. And then Ayuk would run like a little 7-yard route or a little comeback or something like that, right? I feel like every offense but the 49ers offense has a symbol, a tap of the helmet, something where you get your best receiver lined up, mouse in the house, and it's just like whatever the play was, that is no longer the play. Tap the helmet, and you're running a 9 route, and we're taking our chance. That's not in the 49ers offense at all. That option does not exist. So when you see this, I would be willing to bet that this was not the play. It wasn't designed to be a 9 route on the outside. But as soon as they saw Yadam, mouse in the house, show press, they're like, send it. Absolutely send it. And that's what they did. Like, yeah, we're going to get our fast receiver out here. Good luck. Good luck. I mean, he's just not good. Why not play Renardo Green at this point? Why not play Renardo Green? What's to lose? I mean, what's he going to do? Give up the same things that Yadam is? And I love it when a corner clearly has pass interference, and then they're like, "Oh, what do you mean pass interference? What? What do you mean pass interference?" And again, that right there doesn't show up on the stat sheet for Stafford, but you might as well add another 40 yards to his stats, because that's exactly what that is there. Whatever he had passing, just add another 40 yards, because he earned that. Four-man front again. Too high, of course, you run against that every time. You run against too high in a four-man front without fail. Without fail. And not to mention, do you only have 2 linebackers in the game? Am I seeing that properly? So you've got 2 high safeties, 4 linemen, and 2 linebackers. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're running against that all day long. All day long. Absolutely. You run against that. That's easy. The last time the Niners won, Rumbo was watching Doogie Howser. I remember Doogie Howser. Last time the 49ers won, I was watching Doogie Howser. He didn't get fired. Golden Towel. Oh, that actually reminds me. That was story time. Story time. Remember, I set out a story for you. Um, he didn't get fired. Him and Kawakami left the athletic together, and they went to a new company that started a sports division. They cover San Francisco news, and then now they're picking up a sports division. And Kawakami and Lombardi are heading it up. So he didn't get fired. I can, Antonio. We can. Let's just let's you know what, for S's and G's, let's just watch Bosa. When they go to this angle, let's watch Bosa every time. Since Antonio's saying that his pass rush isn't good. Let's just watch it. But yeah, okay. So Golden Towel. So I actually met Lombardi at the game. So at halftime, Sunil and I, we go to meet Brother Bob, and Brother Bob is coming up from like a lower level, and we're coming down from a higher level, so we're kind of meeting. So we're waiting on him. So as we're walking, not even in the press box, Lombardi's walking towards us, and then his wife is right next to Sunil and I. And so she walks up, gives him a hug, they greet each other, whatever. And Lombardi ends up like right next to us. And so Sunil shakes his hand and is like, hey, you're looking sharp or whatever. And he was wearing a suit. Hold on, I want to watch this. Look at that. Again, single high. They actually blitz here, though. They actually blitz here. It's just, that was a heck of a catch by Tutu, by the way. And let's watch Bosa's pass rush here. Okay. And so anyways, so Sunil shakes his hand. It's like, hey, I'm Sunil. You're looking sharp, Lombardi, whatever. And so I stand there. I don't even look. Like, I'm not even trying to make eye contact, nothing. I'm waiting for Brother Bob. So I'm standing there waiting. He's talking to his wife. And then I hear, hey, aren't you Jesse? I look over, and it's Lombardi. And he reaches his hand out. He shakes my hand. He's like, you do some good stuff, man. I was like, thanks. Appreciate that. And that was the interaction. That was story time. Listen, I don't know Lombardi in person at all. I'm not, who knows? And I definitely am not going to hold like football takes or difference of opinion in sports against somebody. I just have always felt like he's super arrogant as a person. That's just how he carries himself, and I don't really respect that. I don't think anybody's above anybody else. I don't feel like anybody should act like they're above anybody else or smarter than anybody else or anything like that. And I just feel like he's pretty demeaning on a regular basis, even when he's wrong, like clearly wrong. And so I don't vibe with it, but I'm not like jerk enough to not shake his hand. You know what I mean? If he wants to extend a handshake, then I'll do that. I don't hate him by any means. I don't know him, but it was definitely an awkward situation because I was trying not to make eye contact. So anyway, shout out Lombardi. Keep doing your thing, man. I know you're starting at a new company. Hopefully you find all the success in the world. You guys can start a sports division over there, you and Kawakami, and knock it out of the park. I definitely wish the best for everybody. One thing I'm not is a hater. So I want everybody to succeed. So hopefully you get everything you deserve and just do your thing over there, man. But not my cup of tea as a person, at least the way you portray. Oh, pass interference again. Okay, so let's watch this play. So you've got a ton of people at the line of scrimmage. Now, again, though, you got to understand that when you're up here, you're this close to the end zone. The reason you don't go vanilla is, one, they can run, so you got to bring people closer to the line of scrimmage. But two, the end zone, the back of the end zone is like an extra defender, right? So you don't need a bunch of safeties back. That's why you don't run 2-man, whatever. So, anyways, that's why you've got single high here. You got Mustafa in the game, I believe, on this play. Maybe not. Maybe it was later. No, you don't. You got Jair, and so you bite on the play action, and then Ronaldo Green gets pass interference call. But again, you've got a rookie player, right, who I would love to see play over Yadam. Feel like that was ticky tacky. I don't think it was pass interference. I think it was holding. But either way, you're putting him now in a big play when he hasn't played much at all. Yeah, that's definitely holding. When he hasn't played much at all, and you're expecting him to just come in and make a play on the goal line. Like, that's tough. You know what I mean? That's super tough. My gosh, man. Look at how and Stafford just audibles, because why wouldn't you run to the left? Like, look at how many players are piled off to the right, because you got this 3 wide receiver stack. But not only do you have the 3 wide receiver stack, but center over, you've got Fred Warner. On top of, you've got Campbell. You've got your 3 corners and your safety all to the right. And so over here, it's just like hat on a hat. If they win their blocks, or at least hold for a split second, you're getting in the end zone. That's an easy play change for Stafford. I mean, that's easy play change. And then you bring someone in motion and you have one person end up over there. But look at everybody else. They're just stuck on the right side of the center, man. Like, that's an easy call. Easy call. Look at this. So you read the defense center over. From center over, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players versus 4 blockers. You're going to send one in motion. You're going to have Mustafa follow, but you still have, I think it's Mustafa that follows. So now it's 5 on 5. And everybody else is just stacked over here. Okay, and then to top it off, everybody flows to the right. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. That's a rough play to watch. That's a rough play to watch. Dave Barclay says, lose more coaches each year and Kyle gets worse. Yeah, that's the other thing, is they've had a lot of like coaches promote, and deservedly so. We're in the 4th quarter, by the way. 10-point lead. 10-point lead in the 4th. I'm just going to throw that out there. Those are fun to lose. And it's like, how many times can you lose coaches and expect to just keep things going? Dave Barclay says, just saying, maybe Kyle isn't a genius. All right. Dave says, Jesse, you're such a good guy. We get along. We'd get along. I know we'd get along. I think I'd get along with most people. I really do. I don't know. There's just some things that I can't stand or tolerate. And like I said, I don't know that that's who he is for sure. Maybe in person, he's a really good guy. Like, I reserve the right, I don't know for sure. I'm just saying what he portrays is not that. Okay, let's see what we got here. Single high. Again, a basic 4-man front. And you stay in single high and send 4. I mean, it's just easy. Easy pickings, man. Easy pickings. I mean, you really think Stafford, who's been in the league for umpteen million years, is confused by any of this? Like legitimately confused by any of this. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh my gosh, dude. The turf monster got Demetrius. Oh no. That was awful. Okay. 4-man front, one high safety, and it's still one high. And look at that, man. Just wide open. My gosh. On the play, too, where he threw like the 40-yard pass to Atwell, I think he has Whittington on the exact same play. Deep crosser, and he bypasses it and takes the deep shot instead. Gutsy call in that moment to do that. And then he hits it, of course. But it's like, come on, dude. Campbell standing flat footed. You ain't getting over there. You're not beating this. Dime. Dime. But it was easy on him. You know what I mean? Again, the defense showed one high. You know they're most likely in zone. You know what I mean? And this is pitch and catch for him. That's how we doing jiu-jitsu breakdowns. Is that what you want next? All right, 4 high, single high, or excuse me, 4-man, single high. Oh, this was the throw from 2-2. It's actually a really good throw. That was a really good throw. Really good throw. In fact, if Stafford goes down, I don't think I play Jimmy. I'd probably just play Tutu. You do? Come on. That's a good throw, man. Wow. That was a great throw. Great throw. Whittington, and it was put in a place where only his guy could get it. Whittington makes a nice catch. And obviously, he loses it at the very last second as he falls down, and that's why it was incomplete. But, dude, that was a good throw. I'm playing 2-2 at quarterback if Stafford goes down. Run a little wildcat. Okay, so you got 4 down linemen showing single high. Oh, but here we go. Every single time Stafford knows you send someone in motion and the 49ers immediately roll coverage. If they're going to roll coverage, they're not doing it post snap. They'll do it pre snap if you send someone. Look at that immediately. All right. Now look at that. Now we got 2 high. We know exactly what we're getting again. There was no fooling Stafford, man. None. That's not fooling anybody. Not fooling anybody. All right, I got you, Eric. I'll check it. I'm an a-hole, but a good guy. All right, that's fair. I think I know what you mean by that. I think I know what you mean by that. Okay. So 4 down again, single high, and you stay 4 down with single high. You guys see it? I mean, it doesn't necessarily take me to show you to see it. I think you guys knew anyways, but now you like really, really see it, right? Like really, really see it. Let's watch Bosa's pass rush here. That could have been called hands to the face. Just saying, could have been called hands to the face. Four down, single high. Man. Somebody said Bosa looks sluggish. Yeah, he definitely doesn't look he doesn't look as explosive as he has in the past, that's for sure. Okay. 4 down linemen, 2 high safety. You stay 4 down. Obviously, you blitz or not blitz, but you see it's a run, so you try to shoot the gap. He just ran right past him, though. Fred Warner just ran right through the gap, right past him. Check that. He didn't run past him. He got blocked. That was actually good. Good by the offensive line. Campbell has Campbell made a play all game? Has Campbell made a play all game? I mean, I know we're not watching him individually, so maybe he has, but dude. All right. So now again, back against the goal line, which is like an extra defender. This is when you're going to do different things. This is when you can go 5 down linemen and 1 high. So, I mean, doing it here is not. What are you doing for the other 90 yards? You know what I mean? I agree, Mitchell and Ness. I would have rather kept Graham and then gotten rid of Campbell for sure. Yeah, Bosa finally got pressure. He did. He did get a little pressure there, but even then, that was a while. I mean, let's look at from snap to 44-36. I mean, we're talking 2.5 seconds and the ball was already out. I mean, he got pressure, but it certainly wasn't impacting anything that Stafford did. So now 4th and 1. Huge play here defensively, right? You want to know the crazy thing? Is I looked at Sunil before this play and I said, they're going to run it and they're going to easily get it. And that's exactly what happened. Man. Oh, that was so frustrating. So frustrating. Just squeezed everybody in, bounces it outside, and that's that. Man. And the recipe to success for the Rams was so obvious coming into the game. It's like if they can run the ball effectively and not turn it over, they have a chance. They have a chance. And they ran the ball effectively. Did they turn it over? Look at Look at Stafford getting busy. Look at Stafford getting busy with his legs. All right, so now we're back to 4-man fronts, 2 high safety. See if they roll it. No, they don't. Still 2 high safeties and a basic 4-man front. They just played really good defense there. Really good defense. What's the score of the Commanders game? Who's winning that one? They took Josh Allen out of the game, huh? 47-10. Mike, Jacksonville's awful. Trevor Lawrence is awful. My gosh. Commanders and Bengals, that's a game, huh? 26-31. Okay. Okay. Jaden Daniels has that can't be true. Okay. Jaden Daniels, man, 21-22. Wow. Hold up. Jaden Daniels, 21-22. Touchdown and 40 yards rushing with a touchdown. Heck yeah. Nice work, Jaden. And Joe Burrow, he's having a good game too. And they're actually running the ball well. Defense is just buns, huh? All right, what do we got? Actually, blitz there, and look it. You blitz and you got pressure. You blitz and you got pressure. Oh, geez. Now it's 38-26. That game's over. Bengals are 0-3. Wow. Bengals are 0-3. Oh, is Scary Terry having a game? Gosh dang it, dude. I just lost my fantasy. Thanks to Josh Allen and Terry McLaurin. I was going to be 3-0 too. I was going to be 3-0. I'm up by 1.4 points still. And I don't think McLaurin's going to get any more points. Oh my gosh. I came into tonight. Listen to this. I had nobody playing. He had Josh Allen who put up 30.92, and McLaurin put up 20. Oh my gosh. I won. I still won. That's wild. All right. Sorry. You guys don't care about my fantasy team. Okay. 4-man front again. Too high. I mean, really, you're just playing prevent here. I think this was a third down. So naturally, there's nothing wrong with playing this coverage here. It's fine. Okay. Cool. So now here we are. Oh, this is the play. Oh, this is the play. Okay, let's see if I saw it right. So when he throws to 2-2, I'm pretty sure he has Whittington over the middle for like 20, and he passes it up and goes deeper down the field against Charvarius Ward. Let's see if I saw it right in the moment. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. He did. He had Whittington, and he chose to go deeper down the field. Look at that. I was like, oh, Whittington, they're going to be. I yelled, they're going to be in field goal range. Did Whittington. Or maybe this is Whittington. Whoever this is. Like, he's open. And it was so much worse because he just threw it deeper down the field. My gosh, man. What, 47 yards in the air? Just dropped it in a hat, man. Stafford's that deal. Stafford is that deal, man. Look at that. Let's go look at the coverage again. See what we got coverage-wise. Let's just see what we got. It's probably single high, I would imagine, if you've got... No, they're in too high. See what happens when they go in motion. Okay, no, it's too high. Too high, 4 rushing. And that was the play that Hargrave got injured, by the way. Watch Hargrave. We'll watch it from another angle. But that's the play. He might have gotten hurt, maybe. But that was, I think, the first play of that drive. So I don't think he would have gone out there if he was hurting like that, unless he was just trying to gut it out. But watch Hargrave. He comes up, and then he immediately starts shaking that hand out. See him? See him shaking his hand out? I think that's where it happened. I mean, my gosh. And also, quick question. If you've got too high, why? Oh, look at that. This is what. Okay. So he's open. So that forces right here. It's going to force Jair to bite tough on that route. And then Hafunga's got to go. He sees him looking over there. So he tries to spin around and get over there, but he's got no chance. I mean, he's on the opposite side of the field. There's no way. And I don't even think that Jair made a bad play there. You got your number one corner against Tutu Outwell, and you got this guy wide open right here. If Stafford throws it to this guy, that's a huge completion anyways. I don't even blame Jair. But again, four-man pass rush, too high, nothing, no frills, no nothing. And then Javon Hargrave's season's lost on this play. Gosh, dude. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I also want to say this. The Rams pump hella noise in that stadium. Hella crowd noise. It was like 70-30 at best, 49er fans. But when it was third down and the Niners were on the field, man, that thing got loud. Way too loud. And they would do the whose house? Rams house. They're 100% pumping crowd noise in that place. Without fail. Gosh, dude, Kyron Williams, man. He had 3 touchdowns, didn't he? He had 2 rushing and a receiving. Man, he crushed it. He crushed it. Thank you, Q. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I actually am. I'm gonna have to go back and watch Brandon Ayuk specifically. Everybody's like, he had like 4 drops. He had one. He had 1 drop. Literally 1 drop. Which I get. You don't want any. I understand it, but everybody was over exaggerating what he actually did and didn't do. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, Campbell. All right, let's see what they do here. Too high, 4-man rush. At this point, Hargrave's out, so we know that he's now for sure hurt, right? And just now they're in man. Now they're in man. And you know they're in man because Campbell bumps up. But see, they got the matchup they wanted. That's the matchup they wanted. They get exactly what they want here. They bump him out. They see man. Now, the other question is they're on the right side of the field and they're able to throw it down the sideline. What does Hufanga do here? The snap, he's flat-footed and he stays flat-footed. See, I'm not a fan of watching safeties come from the opposite side of the field to have to make a play. Like, why is he so flat-footed? What is he looking at? I mean, unless that's the design. And if that's the design, that's a horrible play design. It's either a horrible play design or Huff, you're playing too high, man. Get out. Get on your horse. There's no reason that you should be on that hash and throw a go route down the sideline and not have a safety and too high helping over there. I mean, see, this is where I kind of agree, but I disagree at the same time. Hargrave sucks when you compare to what he's being paid. Yes, I agree. I agree. But as far as Hargrave and other defensive tackles on this team, he doesn't suck. He doesn't suck. I get it, but we just played the Rams, who got beat 41-10 by a 1-win team the week before. Who are we to talk? At least they're beating the teams they're supposed to, Sacred. We can't even do that. Like I get the Vikings loss, right? At this point, the Vikings are a good team. Like we just gotta believe that at this point. The way they did the Texans, awesome. Not even a bad loss anymore. But this game that just lost 41-10, and Kyler Murray literally had a perfect pass. I think he had a perfect passer rating in that game. That defense is so bad, and they had so many injuries. And we had a 10-point lead in the fourth. We couldn't win that. I mean, Seattle's just doing what they're supposed to do, right? At that point, they're just doing what they're supposed to do. I just want to watch the misery play here. 2 of them, actually. All right. Is this the play? Is this one? Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's go back to the other play here. I want to watch the drop just because I love misery, and I wanted to watch this play. So, again, I'm at the 20-yard line on the like where the camera's at, that side of the field. And all I see is Ayuk just break wide open behind the defense. I'm like, throw it mid play. I'm yelling, throw it to Ayuk, as if he can hear me. Come on, Purdy, throw it to Ayuk, please. Please. Oh, this wasn't the play. Okay, that wasn't the play. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. Where are we at here? Is it this play? Gosh, I'm like all lost. Where are we at in the game? Nope, that wasn't it. Great play by Purdy to get out of that pocket, though, yeah? To even, like, escape that. Oh, yeah, then they missed the field. Okay, hold on. So, I swear it was this drive. Am I tripping? Oh, yeah, that was the play right there. Never mind. It was the play before. Okay, this is the play. This is the play. Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh. Oh, oh my gosh. Kyle was asked about this play today, and he said that it was initially supposed to be a deep curl, but Ayuk saw the busted coverage and he kept running, which is the right thing to do. And he said that Purdy didn't throw the ball because he didn't know where the backside safety was at. Oh my gosh. Oh, I mean, he's hitching up to make the throw. Jeez. Throw the ball, man. Oh. Oh, man. That one hurt. Then the drop pass, and then the missed field goal. All of it. It all hurt. Oh, he's hitchy. Double hitches. He wants it twice. He almost threw it. Uncork it. Golly. Man. Look at him. Hitch. Pump fake. Hitch. Pump fake. Oh, Dude. Ugh, whatever. I'm over it. Let's go watch the drop because that was fun too. Hmm. Jennings is not bad. We got to stop this though too. Jennings is not better than Ayuk. Let's stop. He's not better than Ayuk. I bet you if we go watch this game, Jennings is like one-on-one and Ayuk's got coverage rolling towards him and all sorts of craziness. I would almost guarantee it. I would almost guarantee it. He's good. He's really good, but he's not better than PA, dude. He's not. Stop. We're going off of one game. All right, come on. Let's get to the drop already. Mystery loves company. Hmm. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, am I? Come on. Hold on. Hold on. Right? We literally see a game from Jennings. We're like, paw. I mean, I know that those were two back to back 1,000-yard seasons, but Jennings, way better. Come on. I get it. I get it. He had a good game, a great game, actually. Plays super hard. I love all of that, but there's a lot that goes into it. And again, if we watch the film, I would almost guarantee that coverage was rolling Ayuk's way a big chunk of that game. And so Jennings was getting one-on-one matchups against bad corners. And I saw this one floating around on the internet too. This one was fun. The reason that Purdy didn't throw the ball to Ayuk on the series before is because he couldn't trust him. How can you trust him? And then literally a drive later, that narrative is clearly shattered because he throws in a big time moment to Ronnie frickin' Bell. Like, so anybody that's like, oh, let me find a reason to make an excuse as to why he didn't make that throw. It's because he can't trust Brandon Ayuk, but he can trust Ronnie Bell with the game on the line a series later. Make that make sense. People will be going to crazy lengths to like just spin the wildest things. Oh my gosh, dude. Ronnie Bell. I mean, it's just an awful route combination over down here as well. Look at how ugly this route combination is. I mean, you're just allowing all three defenders to just cover your wide receivers for a majority of that play, man. Like, come on. Awful. Awful, awful, awful. Good news is Pooney's still good. Pooney is still good. All right, sorry. I just had to. He was open, but that's not. When does he come open? You know what I mean? Like that's important too. I mean, at that point, and also where's Purdy looking? Purdy, I think, is clearly locked onto Jennings at this point. Deservedly so. I mean, he's played a hell of a game, right? And both of these guys are stuck on Ayuk. So yes, he does come open, but I'll never crush a quarterback for not throwing to an open guy when they're not looking in their direction. Right? He was looking in Ayuk's direction that one play, so there is that, and that's why I call it out. But if he's not looking at Saubert, it's like, dude, let's watch the stripe of his helmet. That's going to tell you where he's looking. Yeah, see, I think he's locked on Jennings. We'll see it from the back angle for sure, but I'm pretty sure he's locked on the Jennings Ayuk combination there. Yeah, he's not looking at Saubert at all. Saubert's way to the outside. His head would have to be way turned. So I'm certainly not crushing Purdy for that. That'd be whack. That would be whack. All right. And boom. And boom. So there you go. Defense. I mean, what did we learn? First of all, what we learned is the show's sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you check them out. Link in the description and pinned to the top of the chat. Use my promo code LSS. You get your free pick plus 50% deposit match up to $1,000. So check them out. If you want to play weekly fantasy, daily fantasy, more or lesses, they got you covered. Underdog, sponsor of the channel. But the other thing that we learned is the defense. Very vanilla. Very rarely do they blitz. Very rarely do they show blitz. Very rarely do they roll coverage post snap. It's pretty much the same thing. 95% of that game is 4 down linemen, 1 high or 2 high safety, playing zone, and whatever you show pre-snap is exactly what you do post-snap. That's it. I mean, that's it. So, I mean, there's no creativity to this defense. Now you've lost Hargrave for the year. I mean, they're really going to have to pick it up, man. They're going to have to pick it up big time. They're going to have to pick it up. So that's what we learned. Defense needs to pick it up. And the special teams is finding new ways to lose a game, by the way. In 2 weeks, they've basically had everything bad happen to a special teams that can. They've had a blocked kick. They've missed a kick. They've given up a big play on a return. I mean, that's everything on special teams just getting waxed. Oh, and you had a fake punt converted. Everything that a special teams can do wrong over a 2-week period, they've done. So you've got a bad special teams, you've got a bad defense, and you got a banged up offense. And this is another thing, right? I don't think the 49ers can make a trade right away. I think they're going to have to wait. They're going to have to wait till these next 2 games happen. Because next 3 games, actually. Because what? I think they play the Patriots. Then they play the Cardinals. Then they play the Seahawks. If they come out of that 1-2, there's no point in making any trades. They're going to have to come out of that 2-1. They'll have to come out of that 2-1 and preferably both wins in division. If they come out of that 1-2, you cannot be buyers at the trade deadline. The last thing you can do is add big salaries to this team that you already have to low-key tear down this offseason. A big chunk of. You can't add more pieces to it. You just can't. So they got to wait. They got to wait a few weeks. We got to see it play out. You know what I mean? Now they can turn this around for sure. And if they win, if they go 2-1 over the next 3, then you probably should be buyers. You probably should be buyers. But they do have to wait it out. They're in this like weird zone where you can't mortgage the future if you're going to be a losing team. But if you're going to be a winning team, you got to go all in. You just have to figure out what you are. And right now, if you make that trade and for some reason you continue to lose, you're setting yourself back. So they have to play this perfectly. They can't just make a trade now to try to fill in for Hargrave or whatever. People on this roster are going to have to step up. I mean, you brought in multiple defensive tackle free agents, and Elliott, he's got to come in and step up now. Givens has got to step up. So we're going to have to see this thing play out for a few weeks before we decide whether they should make a trade or not. So it's not over yet. See, that's the other thing. The season's not over. They're 1-2. It's 3 games in. Very, very early. But right now, it's hard to be overly positive when you have a defense that's doing almost nothing good. The special teams is buns, and you got tons of injuries on your offense. The only good unit you have is your offense, and you've got tons of injuries. So we got to wait. We got to see what happens. Cryptic says, Jesse, Cowboys and Niners both 1-2. It's early, but are the younger teams taking over now? Seahawks, Vikings. Who's in the NFC? Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the Seahawks are. Minnesota's for real. I've seen enough. Minnesota's very for real. They just are. Detroit, I don't think is going anywhere. I don't think Detroit's going anywhere. So you've got, and then Green Bay somehow won both their games without Love, and I think Love's going to be back next week. So I don't know that Green Bay's going anywhere either. That division's very tough, though, so they're going to beat up on each other. You could find solace in that. But there's a team every year, right? There's a team every year that surprises people. Minnesota's that team. They are very for real. Very for real. To beat the 49ers, really, that could have been a blowout if Warner doesn't make 2 amazing plays. They could have blown us out as badly as they blew out the Texans. So back-to-back weeks, you get major wins against 2 at least really good rosters. We'll see what the 49ers and Texans are as a team as the season goes, but 2 very good wins. And you're did both of those without Addison and both of those without TJ Hawkinson. The Vikings are for real. Like, I mean, I think we can say that. Now, Seahawks, I want to see a little bit more. Their defense is much better. They're obviously coached better, but I want to see more. King Bomber says, Seahawks fan here. I think y'all lost 2 close games. Very happy, but not underestimating y'all. And that week 6 matchup might be closer than I initially thought. I thought that 49ers would destroy us. Yeah, I think that's the other thing. Right now, as 49er fans, we can't confidently say that they're a lock to win any game at all. Like, even against the 0-3 Patriots, right? You're at home. When we look at the Niners, when they're at their best, like, oh, that's an easy win. I'm not picking easy wins anymore. They got to prove it to me. I got to know for sure that that's what they are. So before I just start picking them to be for sure wins, locks each week. Now, I'm going to pick them to beat the Patriots, but I'm not confident that they're going to just go out and dominate that game either. So that's tough. So there you go. All right, y'all. Listen, I'll be back tomorrow with Sunil. That'll be a lot of fun because I was at the game with Sunil. So we should have a lot of fun discussing that game. He's got an interesting perspective. And he was hot after the game. He was way more hot than I was. He was pissed. I mean, he was on one. We'll see if he is tomorrow now that he's had a couple days to cool down. He may not be anymore, but man, he was on one yesterday. Let me tell you. So you might not get Homer Sunil tomorrow. Sunil's usually the Homer, and I'm usually the one that's pessimistic. I don't know that we're going to get that Sunil tomorrow. We'll see. That being said, Y'all have a great night. Thank you so much for the support as always. I appreciate you. Much love. We'll talk soon. Be back tomorrow. Peace.